firing, warships closing in, and Taiwan encircled. China's largest drills yet are rehearsing blockades and strikes around the island, rattling air routes and nerves alike. Beijing calls it a warning, Taipei calls it pressure, and the Taiwan Strait is holding its breath. China has intensified military pressure on Taiwan, launching the second day of its most extensive war games to date with live-fire drills, rocket launches, and the deployment of amphibious assault ships, bomber aircraft, and warships encircling the island. The drills, codenamed Justice Mission 2025, began on December 29th and are being led by the People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command. China has demarcated multiple sea and airspace exclusion zones around Taiwan, with live firing scheduled to continue until 6 p.m. local time on December 30th across 5 locations surrounding the island and off China's coast. Chinese military officials said naval and air force units were practicing strikes on maritime and aerial targets, alongside anti-submarine operations focused on Taiwan's northern and southern approaches. Ground forces also took part in long-range live-fire exercises. The scale of the drills marks Beijing's 6th major round of exercises around Taiwan since 2022, when then US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the island. A senior Taiwanese security official told Reuters that Taipei is closely monitoring whether China will again fire missiles over Taiwan, as it did during those earlier exercises. The official added that the drills appear designed to rehearse strikes on land-based targets, including the US-made HIMARS rocket system, which has a range of around 300 kilometers and could threaten coastal areas in southern China. China's Justice Mission 2025 began just 11 days after Washington approved a record $11.1 billion arms package for Taiwan. Beijing has repeatedly framed the drills as a warning against what it calls Taiwanese independence forces and foreign interference. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te condemned the exercises while stressing that Taipei does not seek escalation.
Maintaining peace in the Taiwan Strait and the Indo-Pacific is the common expectation of the international community and Taiwan's insistence as a regional member. However, the recent frequent escalation of military pressure by the CCP is by no means a responsible power should do. We will act responsibly and not escalate conflict or stir up disputes. At this moment, the military and the people are the most powerful force in protecting the democratic homeland. Let's cheer again for the heroes on the front lines to defend the sovereignty and freedom of the nation.
Taiwan's defense ministry confirmed that live firing took place north of the island on December 30th morning, with debris entering Taiwan's contiguous zone, defined as 24 nautical miles offshore. It said 130 Chinese military aircraft and 22 Navy and Coast Guard vessels were operating around Taiwan in the 24 hours up to 6 a.m. local time, the highest daily total recorded this year. 90 aircraft crossed the unofficial median line in the Taiwan Strait. 14 Chinese Coast Guard vessels were also sailing close to Taiwan's contiguous zone, with some engaged in standoffs with Taiwanese ships. Taiwan's Civil Aviation Administration said the drills have disrupted air travel, affecting more than 850 flights and over 100,000 passengers. While international disruption has been limited, 11 of Taiwan's 14 flight routes have been impacted, particularly services to outlying islands such as Kinmen and Matsu. Taiwan sits astride vital global trade and aviation corridors, with an estimated $2.45 trillion in trade passing through the Taiwan Strait each year. Washington has yet to issue a formal response. Speaking at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida, US President Donald Trump played down concerns.
exercises basically to test encircling Taiwan. Can you explain to us what your knowledge is of that? What do you think about that? Have you had any discussions with China
Well, I have a great
that?
relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I certainly have seen it, but he hasn't told me anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it. No, nothing worries me. Nothing.
China considers Taiwan part of its territory and has vowed to reunify the island by force if necessary. While most countries do not recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state, the United States opposes any attempt to change the status quo through military action and remains committed to supplying Taipei with defensive weapons.